Today's maintenance project is to paint the front forks, but when I look at the condition of the front forks on my Honda NC750X that's done 93,000 kilometres, I find that they really don't need repainting. However, Wendy's 2013 CB500X is showing signs of wear, particularly on the right leg. You can see quite a bit of paint flaking off there. So we're going to give it a birthday. Wendy's bike doesn't have a centre stand, but no problem. We'll just put the trolley jack under the engine. It's really not taking a huge amount of weight here, so I'm jacking it up directly on the engine itself, but I'm not lifting it off the floor yet. Before I lift the front wheel, I need to just loosen the pinch bolt and then loosen the axle bolt so that it's easy to take out once the front's jacked up. I always find it easier to remove the front brake caliper. It makes putting the front wheel back in so much easier. To make it easy to get the front forks out, the mudguard's got to come off, and that's just a matter of 3 bolts on either side. We're doing grandson sitting duties today, so you might see him pop in from time to time as he really wants to help. I'm really quite amazed that a child that's not quite 2 yet has got the concept of taking off bolts and unscrewing things and using power drills. But then, again, I guess he's gifted, a bit like his grandfather. Okay, I can jack the bike up now. As you can see, I'm just pivoting it on the side stand and the back wheel, which brings the front wheel off the ground. It's really pretty stable, and it looks dangerous, but it really isn't. Rightio then, that only took a few minutes to do. Now I'm just loosening off the top pinch bolts from the triple clamps. They're a 12mm bolt. Just need to loosen them a bit. And then we can use the 14mm, and of course every time I try I get it the wrong way around. But these ratchet ring spanners are wonderful things. Right, we've moved from the garage down to the shed to do the actual painting bit. But before I do anything else, I'm going to give the forks a bit of a clean up with some metho, just to get the dirt off. Now the forks have cleaned of dirt, I'm just using some 240 grit sandpaper. I think this will be fine enough for the job. Look, I'm not an expert at this, of course, and I'm not trying to do a perfect job. If I was trying to do a perfect job, I'd have to strip them back completely to bare metal and then use undercoat, etc, etc. But I'm not doing that. I'm just going to give them a light sand to get the flaking paint off, make it a bit smooth, and then I'm just going to paint them with a single coat of paint. Now they're nicely sanded, I'll just give them a final clean to get any sanding dust and crap off them, and they'll be ready to paint. You can probably still hear commentary going on in the background because the grandson still wants to know what's going on with these forks. Well, of course we don't want paint on the actual sliders themselves, so a bit of tape around the seals and then up the slider a bit, and Bob's your uncle. The paint I'm going to use is this Dulux Duramax in a semi-gloss black. Used it before and it really is quite good. But it's a cold winter day today, so a little bit of preheating with the heat gun, both on the forks and a little bit on the spray can as well, makes the paint go on just so much better. I don't want it hot, I just want the chill taken off. As I said, I'm no sort of expert, because after all, an expert wouldn't even use a rattle can. But I do realise that to get a reasonable sticky coating, it's a good idea to just give a very light coat to start with. Just a small covering, and then wait a few seconds for it to flash off, and then go over with the final covering coat. I'm only doing one coat of paint because, again, I've found that particularly with metal, you don't want too thick a coating or the paint will come off again. Okay, so there's that first light sort of coat done. I'm just waiting a few seconds. And now I'll just go over the whole thing with a covering coat. Right, job's done. Just a matter of waiting for them to dry now. This paint dries to handle in about an hour or so, although it takes probably 24 hours or more to harden properly. But the whole job can be reassembled now. Yes, that's right, you're being filmed. Young people these days and social media, what can you say? At least he's better looking than my other assistant Norman, but don't tell Norman that. Okay, job's done. That was really an easy process. As you can see, mechanically not difficult, and it didn't take very long either. But now the forks look nice and new again. Sure, it's not a perfect job, but it will stop further corrosion.